So what I want to talk about this morning is an aspect of politics, and that's demographics. Now, I don't know whether you remember dear old Boris Johnson getting elected, but he was hugely elected by older people. That's people like you and me, people of maybe 60, 65 and over. We all thought he was the jam in the sandwich. He was pretty good, wasn't he, really? But in fact, it turns out that he didn't give a bugger about us and wished us all dead. Now, in my hometown of Felixstowe, 35%, according to the 2021 census, were actually over the age of 65. 35% of the population. And it's reckoned that the older population is the population that votes for Boris, or voted for Boris Johnson and the Tories. The truth now has appeared at the Coffey inquiry that in fact the Tories in government under Mr Johnson didn't give a bugger and hoped we'd all die. Number of good things from their point of view. It would cut the pension bill if we all snuffed it. Hey, how about that? And the reality, of course, is that a lot of us are doing quite nicely. We do the best we can. We struggle along sometimes, but generally we do pretty well. We cost money, you have to admit, because we are heavy users of the National Health Service, heavy users of benefits in terms of things like pensions, and so it goes. But Johnson and the Tories wished us dead. The reality is that we're coming up to an election in the next year or two. And in those times, perhaps we as older people could wish the Tories dead. Perhaps we should make sure we vote for someone else, anyone else actually, other than the Tories where we live. Let's find political parties that say, well, we'll do our best to look after everybody, because one of the things that the Tories don't do is that they try to avoid looking after anybody who hasn't got the money to look after themselves. I'm finding this quite an interesting conversation with myself, really, because it is kind of tightening down some of the feelings that I have about the way that politics in Britain works. It is very much the rich governing the rich and not giving a bugger about the rest of us. I'm a pensioner, but I'm not a rich pensioner. I can survive, and I will probably survive financially until I snuff it, but at that point I'll probably run out of money. So there you have it. Why should we vote? In a year's time, in 2 years' time, whenever it happens to be, why should we, as older people, vote for a political party that actually wishes us dead? Got to ask you, if the Tories came out and were a little bit more truthful, that is what they would like to happen. If in the next budget, or the autumn statement, which is coming up soon, that Hunt creature will be saying, I'd like to cut pension increases, cut the triple lock away and not pay them what they deserve, then I think that's another reason for not voting Tory. Interesting, isn't it? We'll do more on this later. If you have a viewpoint or opinion that you'd like to share, I would love to hear from you. Just get in touch with me at The Old Geezer's Diary. I'm on YouTube and I'm on Facebook, and I'm probably kicking about in other places by the time you see this. I'm Chris. I make The Old Geezer's Diary. I wish you well.